Support your Hobbit hobby.
Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. This video is a follow-up to the last video that you saw that was showing all of the leaked pictures of the Desolation of Smaug release from Games Workshop. There's been lots of mixed reactions to those leaked pictures. However, we now have all of the pre-orders up on the Games Workshop site. So this is going to allow us to have a little bit more of an in-depth look at things like the prices and also at some of the sculpts, because, you know, grainy pictures aren't always going to be the best quality. So I'm going to have a little second look here, and I'm going to start off with a set of models that I wasn't really sure about from the leaked pictures. I've got my laptop here in front of me, so Games Workshop site is on. Now remember, for any of you international viewers, that all of my prices that I'm saying are UK prices, and I understand that across the rest of the world you have to pay a little bit more, or so I believe. So don't jump on too much if I'm really positive about some of the price. I'm going to start off with the Mirkwood spiders. Now when I first saw the original grainy images, I have to say I wasn't overly excited. I mean, I'm not an evil player anyway, but I was expecting them to be a little bit more dynamic and, you know, kind of arching up or coming over, looking like they're climbing over things. And from the leaked pictures, I actually thought they looked a little bit flat. What I recommend you all do while you're watching this video is put the video, the YouTube box to one side, and also have the Games Workshop site on the other side, so that as I'm talking through, you can click on the images, you can do the little image rotator which is on those images, so you can have a good look for yourself. So here we go. So here he comes up. It's just loading, 100%. And actually, this isn't a flat spider. He has legs coming up. It looks like it's got a reasonable amount of detail. And I have to say, I think it looks great. It looks really, really cool. Really cool. And I wasn't sure about this mini at all with the leaked pictures. Now, in this box set, it appears that you get two fine cast Mirkwood spiders. There's been lots of talk on the forums about, oh no, fine cast spiders. This is going to be really difficult with these spindly legs. But we don't know how these legs are going to be yet. I mean, we'll have a look with the unboxings. We'll give you a good proper review. But let's not judge before we actually see for ourselves. You know, let's be really positive. This is a huge release for The Hobbit. And I think these spiders look great. Now, the spiders are on monster bases by the looks of it. And in UK pounds, it's working out approximately £11 per spider in the box. If you compare that to some other monsters that you might have got, even in the past with Lord of the Rings range, that is actually pretty good value. That's pretty good value. Two monster-based models for £11 each, effectively. What do you think? I think that that's pretty good. Now, of course, when it comes to prices and model reviews or anything, it is subjective. And as a new-ish strategy battle gamer, I don't remember all these days where you used to pay for things, you know, about 3 times less what they are now. So I've got nothing to compare it to, really. To me, this is what these models cost, and I would say that that is pretty good value. And if I wanted one of these spiders, I wouldn't be put off by the price. I wouldn't be put off by the price. Even if I wanted one, you're going to make it back on eBay. Now, if you are looking at these prices, so let's say that this is £22. Great British pounds. Now you can get it straight from the Games Workshop website, of course. If you feel that it's just that little bit too expensive for you, remember, if you find a local gaming store and you have a look on their websites or you walk into them, it's very likely that they are probably going to be giving discounts on stock compared to Games Workshop of between 10 and 20% as the norm, and maybe the odd 25%. So, you know, if you work that out again, 10% is of £22, that's £2.20. You know, if there was 20% off, you're getting £4.40 off, and suddenly, you know, this is underneath £20 for two monsters. I think that that is great value. So moving on to another new Desolation of Smaug release for December that I also think is great value are the Captain clan pack sets. Now the reason for this, these are £15, that's UK pounds, for the either Palace Guard captains or the Mirkwood Ranger captains. That's £7.50 for a captain model. Now, even if you look on the old Lord of the Rings stuff, where the prices are now, I'm sure there have been price increases, but in my mind, I think captain, £8.20. Now I know this is forcing you to buy two, but these are gorgeous sculpts in my opinion. I actually think that they are really good sculpts. I think one of the things that is slightly letting down some of the sculpts, particularly maybe these captains, or Thranduil to a degree, and Legolas certainly, is the paint job on the faces. I don't know who's painting these faces, but I don't think they've done a great job at selling the models. So remember, if you're looking and you're thinking, that Legolas looks rubbish, or that Thranduil looks rubbish, because of the face and the painting, remember, you can paint it better than that. You can. I believe in you. So give it a go. So yeah, so click on the Mirkwood Ranger captains, and just like I said in a previous leaked images video, I think they look great. I think that they're really good sculpts. You know, whether you'll see people getting generic captains, I'm not sure, but for £15 for two models, two hero models, I actually think that that is pretty good. And I like the detail on these guys. And just quickly again, I'll do the same for the Palace Guard captains. Yeah, and again, although I'm not overly enamoured with the paint jobs around the faces, again, don't know what's going on there. £15, two captain models, new Hobbit releases. It gets a big thumbs up from me. But you let me know what you think. Remember, this is Great British Pounds, and also take into account if you go to a local gaming store, you get about 20% off, let's say. Let's average it. Let's have our average store, local gaming store discount at 20%. Then you're going to be paying £12 for two of these models instead of 15, perhaps. So, yeah, let us know if you are a local gaming store and you're going to be doing that kind of deal, because people will want to know. Okay, I'm going to go on to the model which I am definitely getting. Again, it's received, you know, an absolute Marmite reaction. You know, you either love them or you hate them. It's because this is the wonderful thing about anything which requires an opinion, is it is an opinion. My opinion on the new Beorn is I love him. Now, I would be tempted to wait until there's maybe a pack where you get him and him in bare form, but I actually really like this model, and it will be the first one I think that I'll get from Desolation of Smaug. And although I tend to have like a paint queue, I've got lots of things in line for you guys, such as elves and warriors of Erebor and Dwalin and all kinds of stuff for battle reports. I actually think I'm going to paint up Beorn pretty quickly and stick him in there and see how he is, because I think he looks great. Now, if you look on the Games Workshop site again, I think these images do him even greater justice. Whether you like the look of the models, remember that isn't necessarily Games Work. You know, the aesthetic. If you don't like the aesthetic, it's not Games Workshop's fault. That is Weta's designs, and I reckon more people, the more that they look at these designs, and after they've seen the movie, the more people will really warm to some of these designs. Remember, it's a movie adaptation of Tolkien. It's PJ's interpretation, and that's what we see with the Games Workshop models. And I like this Beorn model. I think it sells Beorn in the movies better than some of the leaked images of the actual actor sell Beorn in the movies. So what I'm going to go to straight away is he's £15 fine cast, I believe, which from my understanding he's quite a big model. He's like the same size as Bolg, the model, by the looks of it, maybe a bit bigger. He looks massive. So again, £15. You know, you might be getting that for about 12 quid if you find a good local gaming store. So that's pretty good again for UK customers. So clicking on the 360. Now, one of the things that I like about Beorn here, I actually think they've done a good paint job on him. He looks a little bit shiny from the pants down, but I think that's been done on purpose, because it looks like he's supposed to be wearing some kind of dark brown leather pants. Now, if you scroll around him, he appears that he's got sort of cuts and grazes, and you know, he really looks like he's in battle. He's got scars, and yeah, I love this mini. I'm getting Beorn, without a shadow of a doubt. He is mine. 15 quid. Okay, so maybe 12 quid. So I'm going to move on to one of the least liked releases by the sounds of it, and that is Legolas. Now, Jamie made an interesting comment the other day. He said Games Workshop seems to be going a lot of the way with hero models having this kind of pose where they've got weapons out behind them. So he said like the King's Champion and the new Legolas, and he did have some other examples which I can't remember. I was only half listening to him. He's not really that interesting, and he didn't really like the pose. Now I've seen in one of the trailers the Legolas in this pose, so I can see why they've done it. It's a different pose for Legolas. You don't have to get it. You know, I think the thing that makes this model not look great, and I'm really sorry to whoever has painted him, but it looks like a terrible rush job on the face. It does not sell him. He's got a monobrow. He's got a bit of a kind of I've not eaten any vegetables for a few days, and it's been a while since I've been to the bathroom kind of face. A bit moon faced. The face doesn't really do the model justice. But it is plastic. It says on the Games Workshop website they've got the little fine cast button on there, but he is a plastic model. Now my guess is that Games Workshop is moving away. It is in the transition of moving away from fine cast to plastic. That's what we've seen in the other systems like Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. And I think that one of the reasons why we'll still get some fine cast releases for Desolation of Smaug is originally it was going to be 2 movies, and they'll have already made some of these minis, I think. But I think you'll see, especially the models they predict to be more popular, being done in plastic. I think there's some new technology where they effectively, do multiple models on one press kind of thing. I don't know enough about it to talk about it, but that's what I hear. So that's Legolas, and again, him and Tauriel are 15 Great British pounds. So again, find a local gaming store where you can get about 20% off, then 12 quid. And Tauriel, I've not changed my opinion on her from what she looks like on the site. I love the pose, like the model. I'm going to go to the barrels out of Bond now. This one took a lot of people by surprise. This is £40. Okay, so this is an expensive release. For £40, you are getting all of Thorin's company. However, you are not getting all of Thorin's company in gaming poses, so to speak. This is definitely a scenario box set. This is for hobbyists. This is not necessarily for the serious business of wargaming. That's right, Damien. I've stolen that from you. I've used that about 5 times since seeing you at the tournament, and you saying that. The serious business of wargaming. But they look gorgeous. I mean, they really do look gorgeous. And if you break it down, 40 divided by 13 is... that's my answer. You guys can write down below. That's how much it's working out per model. I think they look gorgeous, and I think we're going to see a lot of people like Deadmarsh Spectre, these great painters off the forums like One Ring and The Last Alliance, getting these models and giving them a fantastic paint job and really doing them justice. I think they look fabulous. I won't be getting them personally, but for collectors, they're great. So I actually like that, and again, you can get yourself a 20% discount, £32 for 13 models. I think that's pretty reasonable for a hobbyist, collector, painter, scenario player, not necessarily a tournament gamer. So next up, here we go. This is going to be really contentious. We're going to go for the Mirkwood Rangers. The more I look at this box set, the more I think these have got to be some of the best plastic models that Games Workshop have produced for The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. They're gorgeous. It's another step up from... this is the argument. Like, for example, I don't necessarily really like the aesthetic of the Warriors of Dale. But I'm tempted to buy that box set, because even though it's 10 in a box, because they are gorgeous models. They are gorgeous models. I think we're going to get the same kind of reaction with these Mirkwood Rangers. I hope you've got them up on your Games Workshop site here, and zooming in on the various sculpts, because you can't blame Games Workshop for the aesthetic of them. You know, this is a wetter design. This is what we're going to see in the movie. In terms of the models, look at the poses. Yeah, they are dynamic, but they are actually what I would probably have imagined elves to be more like pre the Lord of the Rings movies, where they were more sombre, more reserved and everything. Well, Mirkwood elves aren't really supposed to be like that anyway. And if you read the books, then elves, on the whole, don't really come across as that. They're quite sort of jolly and gay, and, you know, they're into music and laughter and all kinds of hedonism by the sounds of it. But enough about that. These sculpts are great. Look at the guy who's kneeling. If you can click on the zoom up of the guy who's kneeling, that's got to get an award for best plastic sculpt from the Hobbit range. Got to agree with me. Got to. If you don't agree with me, just let me know below. I don't mind. But I think that this is a fantastic box set. I think everyone's going to have lots of fun getting them and painting them. I'm very, very impressed. The more I look at them, the more I love them. I'm not going to be getting them, but Jamie is, and I'm really looking forward to unboxing them and him opening the box and me getting to feel them and be like, yes, new Hobbit models. Now the big thing that people are really unhappy about with the biggest thing, not just the aesthetic, which some people are unhappy about. That's Marmite. Some people really like it, some people don't. Each their own. It's great, you don't have to buy them. Is the price. Now, for all of you strategy battle gamers who've been involved in this glorious hobby for, you know, years and years, of course you remember a time where you were paying less than £15 for boxes of 24 models, and oh how that has changed. This box set is £25, and £25 for 10 models. For 10. Now, what I'm about to say is probably going to prove quite contentious. Remember, if you find a local gaming store, get 20% off, you know, hey, that's good going. It's £20. That's the same as the Warriors of Dale, £2 per model. You might still not be happy with that, if you come from that previous time. But if you look at these models, and then you look at maybe the new Space Marine release for Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k, their 10-man squads, their new 10-man squads, plastic, are £25. Now, some people said to me when I made that argument that this is just bringing the Hobbit in line with that. We're not any more hard done by than other systems, although we might feel it. You know, was that a Space Marine model is bigger and therefore you're getting more and there's more options and stuff like that. But the more options is more to do with the game. I mean, we've got options because we can put on different hand weapons and stuff like that. I know you don't necessarily get that in the boxes, but you know, you do. There are options. You can put shields on. You know, if you look at the Palace Guards, you can give them shields. You can not give them shields. With the Warriors of Erebor, you know, it's exactly the same. Do you want to give them shields? You not. I know it's not the same kind of war game, but it's a different game. You know, you're not going to get Mirkwood Rangers, you know, getting to choose between a plasma cannon and a las cannon or anything like that. They are what they are from the movies. They are the same price. And I would argue that, yeah, you might get a bit more plastic and a bit more bulk from a Space Marine, but a Space Marine has got nowhere near as much detail as these guys. These guys are phenomenal sculpts. They are dynamic, they look great. You could pull any of these sculpts out, I think, if you didn't release the box set, any of these sculpts out, and you could pass it off as being a Ranger captain, and people would pay, you know, £8 for it. And I know you would. I know you would. Have a good look at them. Take your time. I think you'll agree with me. And I feel exactly the same about the Palace Guard set. In fact, I think that the pictures on and the paint jobs on the Games Workshop site do them even more justice. I wasn't so sure about them before, but I'm more sure now. I think that they actually look pretty cool. Again, 10 models, £25, 20 quid if you get a 20% discount from somewhere. They look good. And you've got options. You can give them spears, you can give them shields. So I think that they'll be pretty cool and very popular. Let me know below what you think. This is a conversation, not a lecture. Finally, I've not changed my opinions about Thranduil. He just needs another paint job. He's £12, so he's a bit cheaper than Tauriel or Legolas. I just think his paint job on his face is pretty poor. That's not to say that you can't do a great paint job on him. I think it's a lovely model, a gorgeous sculpt. Finally, we've got what I have been waiting for. The Desolation of Smaug Sourcebook. Wow, cool. This is what we want, okay? This is a supplement. Seeing that this is a supplement has encouraged me to buy the big Hobbit rulebook. Now, I know that Games Workshop have taken a step in the right direction. That's right, they're doing something good for you guys, for us guys, the fans, in that they put all of the An Unexpected Journey profiles on their website now as a PDF. That's fabulous. But I'm still getting the big rulebook now. I really still am, and I'm going to get this source book as well. It's £20, which is about right for a source book. It looks like it's got loads in it, 64 pages. It's got 8 brand new scenarios, which should be good fun. It's got rules for linking your games with Thorin Company into a dynamic narrative, so that sounds like it's good fun. Rules for fighting in the realm of Mirkwood. Now I think that could be really fun, you know. Maybe it's like some kind of dynamic terrain, so you roll to see what the woods do or something like that, you know, because Mirkwood, you know, it's mysterious and ill wood, isn't it? There's lots of magic. So that could be quite cool. Let me know what you think that means. I think it would be something like that, like if you enter woodland, you know, you roll to see what type of woodland that woodland is, and on a roll of a 1, if you're in that woodland, the woodland does something to you. Or is that a bit 40k? I don't know. You let me know. Something which we have got to be massively excited about. 3 new points match scenarios. I am really looking forward to seeing these. You know, we've got 6 at the moment. Some of them which I prefer a lot more than others. I hope that these 3 are great. I hope that they are. Because who knows, maybe we'll see them in a tournament next year. Yeah, there's galleries in there, heavy metal painting stuff. Yeah, that's great. And profiles and rules for good and evil miniatures in the Hobbit Desolation of Smaug. The most exciting thing for me in getting this is that we're going to get all the profiles for the new models for this release. Some people have thought it a good thing that this release seems to be like a Mirkwood supplement, which it kind of is in a way. But I've been a bit disappointed at the lack of evil models, apart from like the spiders and Thorin. We don't know whether he's going to be an evil or a good model. But that just means that we've got all of that to look forward to. We've got the Necromancer, we've got Smaug, and excitingly, if you look at the Games Workshop website, so you all should be doing that because I've told you to do that anyway. If you look at the old Bolg miniature, he is now called Gundabad Orc General. Now that confirms to us what we were thinking, in that the Bolg design has been removed as being Bolg, and that we're going to get a new Bolg that is more in line with Azog, like a CGI version. And it's a shame that we've lost such a, you know, he looked great, Bolg, in lots of ways, but I can see why they might have done that. What it also suggests for us strategy battle gamers is that at some point we are going to get some kind of Gundabad orcs, maybe, which would be great, and I'm guessing these would be like the big pale orcs like Azog, and hopefully we'll also get some Dol Guldur orcs and stuff in the future. So this has been my second look at the Desolation of Smaug releases. I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember, this is a conversation. I want you to let me know. I can imagine that it's going to be quite contentious, some of my opinions on the prices, but I think on the whole, especially if you can find a local gaming store, maybe you are a local gaming store, you want to let us know what kind of discounts you're doing, feel free to post below. It's not a problem. Get about 20%, then that's about right. That's about right, I think, for a local gaming store on the whole. And then these models are great value, in my opinion. It's my opinion. You don't have to agree. As always, this has been James from the GBHL YouTube channel. Support your Hobbit hobby. Let's be real positive about this release. Let's all try and get our friends out there who are maybe wavering, they're not too sure, they're thinking of getting involved in our great hobby. They're not. Maybe they're involved in other war games. Let's try and get at least one person of our friends to at least pick up a box of the Hobbit Desolation of Smaug releases. Happy strategy battle gaming, guys.